Hello, my name is Giovanni Gutierrez, and today I will be discussing a legal concept referred to as environmental personhood. It is a topic I have great interest in because of my ongoing devotion for the earth and justice. I'll be examining the pros and cons associated with this legal concept and why I believe it will ultimately become the new norm. Let me ask you this. If a tree or river could talk, what would it say to us, the world? I believe the moment they speak, their first words would be, "I'll see you in court." Pollution and a reckless disregard for the environment has plagued our natural resources and irreplaceable environment. There has been a miscarriage of justice that needs to be corrected immediately by environmental personhood. The three main points that give the most support for this concept are the creation of a system meant to hold industry polluters responsible for damages, setting the progressive examples to other countries across the globe, and leading the change into a more environmentally conscious foundation for our future generations. Next, I'll explain the exact definition of environmental personhood and why it is so important. Environmental personhood is a concept that natural entities should have the status of other legal persons, such as corporations, in the eyes of the law. And while you won't see a river or tree in court, guardians and appointed officials could be there, and those who directly represent the threatened entities. There is an interconnectivity to our environment and us that we need to protect. We made the issues. We need to correct it by establishing a resurgence in our environmental legislation. And seeing as there's no time machine to establish environmental rights in the United States Constitution, changes in our current legislation is the next best option. We now look at countries who have given right and life to this law. Countries such as Costa Rica and fairly recently New Zealand have set the example of recognizing natural entities as substantial and worth protecting. As per Article 50 of the Costa Rican Constitution, all persons have the right to a healthy and ecologically balanced environment. For that, they are legitimated to denounce the acts that infringe this right and to claim reparation for the damages caused. In other words, this person has standing in court. And New Zealand has achieved the unthinkable. The sacred Whanganui River has gained legal personhood in 2017. It has taken this legal concept into action, and by doing so has created a ripple effect, one that will greatly contribute to push other nations to implement their own environmental personhood laws and ways of enforcing it. This is something the states here in the United States have already tried enacting to protect their natural resources. Take Toledo, Ohio, for example. The people there saw the ongoing pollution by agricultural runoff in neighboring Lake Erie, leading to dangerous algae blooms. In response to this pollution, they drafted what is known as the Lake Erie Bill of Rights to acknowledge their inalienable rights to extend legal rights to the vulnerable nature environment. The Supreme Court would later strike down the bill due to it being impermissibly vague in regards to due process in the 14th Amendment. However, the spark and change has already begun, and the fight will continue to push for action. Our influence as a country has always been immense. However, this does not mean that all countries will adopt their own or integrate our environmental policies. Let's say a river spans the length between the United States and Mexico, such as the Rio Grande, which is being polluted by a corporation in Mexico that does not recognize environmental personhood laws. What would the process of protecting the rights of the river look like? Perhaps it could be an economic sanction or an even embargo placed upon the polluting entity. As much as I believe the world would be swayed by the advancements in environmental law here in the United States, I understand the nature of greed and those who wish to exchange our world for profit. Many other questions can also arise as to who will fund these lawsuits against industry polluters, and what if the environment loses? Another question is, what if the environments themselves pose a danger to the public, such as with mudslides or flooding? Just because there are unanswered questions does not outweigh the need to do everything we can before we lose our irreplaceable environments. If we want to avoid a grim future for those who will inherit our problems, I believe that planting the seed of promoting rights for nature to the masses will ensure it transcends our lives and beyond. The need to liberate the idea of being environmentally conscious in our everyday lives, as well as permanently in federal and state laws, is the right choice. In order to start the movement, federal grants are needed to provide the state resources to create educational awareness and courses to indoctrinate our younger generation to understand the historical justice being set forth in the country and around the world in regards to granting environmental personhood to our environment. We need to teach our future generations of our mistakes and bring back solutions rather than push our problems to them. We all play a part in contributing to pollution, whether big or small. It's up to us to tackle our issues on a global level and an individual level. We need to empower our helpless environment by setting up legal personhood as fast as we can. Thank you.